Here are 5 features that I think need to be added to all cold wallets. Now, most cold wallets on the market have a lot of really useful features, but oftentimes not all the features are that necessary, and they can actually end up overcomplicating the wallet, which leads to a terrible user experience. So these are things that I think should be universal in every hardware wallet. That way everyone can have a secure wallet that's really easy to use. And later in the video, I'll show you some of my favorite wallets that actually offer these features. Now, first up is a seed phrase. Now, not everyone is going to agree with me on this, and that's okay. Some people even say that seed phrases are a thing of the past, but that's simply not true considering most wallets on the market today still use seed phrases as a recovery option. There are several seedless seed phrase wallets on the market that offer other backup methods, but personally, I prefer a seed phrase for my hardware wallet. As the old adage goes, not your keys, not your crypto. That's not to say that in the future there won't be a better option over a seed phrase, but as of now, I think the seed phrase is the best recovery method that we have for any kind of crypto wallet. Of course, when talking about seed phrases, the next thing most people think about is 12 versus 24 word seed phrases. Most people who use a seed phrase prefer a 24 word seed phrase because it's longer and it is technically more secure because there are 12 more words in the phrase. However, a 12 word seed phrase is still very secure and basically impossible to guess, at least with today's technology. One comparison that I like to use is that you are less likely to guess a 12-word seed phrase than you are to get struck by lightning every single day of your life, multiple times per day. It might not be the best comparison or the best example, but I think it really puts it into perspective how difficult it is to guess a 12-word seed phrase. So for me, as long as a wallet provides a way to generate a 12-word seed phrase or even a 24-word seed phrase, I'm not going to complain if I can generate a 24 seed phrase and recover my wallet using a seed phrase, then that's what I'm looking for ultimately. And assuming a wallet has this next feature, I care even less about it offering a way to generate a 24-word seed phrase. And that's because the next feature is a passphrase, also known as a hidden wallet. And I'm not just talking about a device-specific passphrase that is used to keep others out of your physical cold wallet, but I'm actually talking about a feature that allows you to create an additional word or phrase and add it to the end of your seed phrase, whether that's a 12 or 24 word seed phrase. And with that, it also generates a completely unique private key and public address pairings or receiving crypto addresses. With this feature, even if someone were to find your seed phrase, they still wouldn't be able to access your wallet, assuming they don't also know your passphrase. And that's often why it's referred to as a hidden wallet, because you won't even know it exists unless you know the passphrase. It's also important to highlight that a passphrase is equally as important as your seed phrase because they work in conjunction. If you don't know your seed phrase, your passphrase won't work because they work together, and vice versa. If you don't know your passphrase, it doesn't matter if you know your seed phrase because you need that passphrase to access your hidden wallet. And that's why it's important to store your passphrase in a secure location just like you do your seed phrase. Preferably, you probably don't want to store them together because, again, if someone knows your passphrase and your seed phrase, then they can access your wallet. So definitely store them separately. Now, one of the coolest things about the passphrase feature is that you can create as many passphrases as you want from a single seed phrase. So say I have a 12-word seed phrase, I could create hundreds, thousands, literally millions of other wallets, hidden wallets with a passphrase. Next up is a secure element chip. Now, a lot of you who watch my other videos already know that most reputable cold wallet manufacturers will use a secure element in their devices. But what does this chip do? A secure element's main use is to securely store your wallet's private key and manage your private key on the device. Generally, the chip is isolated from the wallet's main processor to prevent unauthorized access in the unfortunate event of a malware attack or even a physical brute force attack on your device. So even if your device is compromised somehow, your private key will not be compromised as it is stored securely on that secure element chip. This also ensures that all your transactions are signed within a secure environment, which prevents the interception of any sensitive data your wallet stores. Now, the only downside with some secure element chips in certain devices is that since they are made by other manufacturers aside from the actual wallet company, for example, some chips are made by Samsung, Wallets aren't allowed to disclose certain information about these chips, meaning that they can't fully open source their wallets. Of course, that's not the case with all hardware wallets, but it is one of the downsides for certain wallets that use a secure element chip. And speaking of open source firmware, that is the next feature on my list, but what does it mean for a wallet to be open source, and why is it preferred by most crypto users? Having open source firmware in a cold wallet is crucial for transparency and ensuring that there are no vulnerabilities or hidden backdoors thanks to community scrutiny. However, this doesn't mean that everything that's open source is instantly more secure, even though most people will tell you that. While open source firmware is generally preferred by most crypto wallet users, that doesn't mean that there aren't some cons to it. For starters, just because the code is publicly available and can be viewed by anyone doesn't mean that everyone knows how to read the code. I definitely don't know how to read code, so if I go and look at some open source firmware, I won't understand what the heck is going on. So unless you know how to read code yourself, you still have to trust someone else to verify that the wallet is safe to use. Now let's say someone were to find a vulnerability in some open source code on some cold wallet and they didn't report it to the manufacturer but instead used it for bad. That would obviously be a terrible situation because then they could take advantage of the wallet users. This is why some hardware wallet manufacturers actually offer a bounty to report things like vulnerabilities or backdoors that are discovered by anyone from the community, and as a reward, they are actually rewarded with a lump sum of cash. However, this isn't the case for every hardware wallet manufacturer, but some of them definitely offer bounties. But overall, open source code is generally thought to be better and safer than closed source code, mainly because of its transparency, and I'd like to think that most people that actually know how to read code and could find vulnerabilities would actually report it to the manufacturer instead of taking advantage of users and potentially facing legal consequences. That said, something I respect about certain hardware wallet manufacturers is that they actually get their firmware audited by independent security auditors. That way, even if their code is closed source, at least we know that it has been audited and confirmed there are no backdoors or potential vulnerabilities. And even some open source wallet manufacturers have independent auditors audit their firmware, which is just a huge bonus. That way, not only can the community check it, but also professionals are checking that there are no vulnerabilities. And my next feature is a device-specific PIN. Granted, most cold wallets have a PIN that you can set up, or at least something like it. I think it's essential for preventing unauthorized access to your physical device. It's basically the same thing that you'll find on your phone or your bank card, except the cool thing about cold wallets is that you can usually create a PIN upwards of 50 characters so that you can ensure that it's really robust and no one will be able to guess it. Of course, a PIN is independent of your wallet's recovery seed phrase or the passphrase even, so if you do forget your PIN code, you can reset it. Unlike your seed phrase, if you forget that, there's no recovery option. It's just game over and you lose access to all your crypto. Obviously, your PIN will only be as secure as you make it, so you don't want to use something like your street address or your birthday or even your social security number. You want to make sure that it is completely random, and the longer the better. Also, equally as important as creating a robust PIN is a wallet that allows you to enter the PIN on the physical device versus on your computer. The more things you can do on your cold wallet, the better. Reason being is that cold wallets are completely offline, so when you go and enter something on your cold wallet, it's almost impossible that anyone is watching you do it, versus if you enter something on your computer where you could have malware or some kind of spyware. All that said, there are crypto wallets that do offer all of these features. That doesn't mean that there aren't other features that you might want, but these are the 5 features that I believe every single cold wallet should have if you want to have a secure and user-friendly device. It's just that once you start adding too many features to your wallet, I've noticed that it actually becomes more complicated to use, and crypto is already complicated enough, so we don't need complicated cold wallets. We need simple and secure wallets. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what your perfect cold wallet looks like in the comments. Now, as I promised, I want to show you some of my favorite wallets that offer all these features. Keep in mind as I quickly go through these wallets that some of them also offer more features than are on this list, and I'll try to mention them. And also, if you end up wanting any of these wallets that I do mention, make sure to check the description for our custom discount code so you can save some money on any of these wallets. First is the Trezor Safe 3. This is one of my favorite cold wallets right now. It also has some extra features such as Shamir Backup, which is just a way to split your seed phrase into multiple shares and require a number of those shares to recover your wallet. This is considered an entry-level wallet, so it is super beginner friendly without sacrificing any security. The discount code for the Trezor Safe 3 is Cyber Scrilla, all caps. The reason I'm mentioning that right now is because Trezor has a weird rule about listing the discount code in the description of videos, so I can't do that, so I'm telling you right now. But if that discount code doesn't work for some reason, just click on the link in the description to view the latest offers on the Trezor Safe 3. Next are the OneKey Classic and OneKey Touch wallet. These wallets are both nearly identical, with the obvious difference being a touchscreen versus a button-based device. But they both have all 5 features that I mentioned in this video, plus some other features, and you can manage them either on your desktop device or your phone, making it really user-friendly as well. And this last wallet that I'll mention is one of the most secure wallets on the market. However, it is not as user-friendly as the previous wallets that I mentioned, and that's mainly because of its additional security features and how it's used. However, if you are looking for a more premium wallet with some advanced security features, then the Keystone 3 Pro is definitely a wallet you got to check out. The Keystone 3 Pro not only has every single feature I mentioned on this list, but it also has biometric authentication, 3 secure element chips, Shamir backup, and the ability to manage 3 separate seed phrases on the single device, so it's like you have 3 wallets in one. Plus, it has an optional air gap mode. Now, for a beginner, I think this wallet is a bit overkill, but if you're looking for additional security features that other wallets don't offer, then this is definitely a wallet you want to check out. And if you want to learn more about any of the wallets that I mentioned in this video, make sure to watch this next video where I actually review all these wallets. As always, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video.